And I've walked in, I've got these Arabs bags, and I've walked in, and managers just blew his nut at me, like, what you doing? Where you been? And I've gone, Gaffer, I'm sorry, I'm late. I've just been and done a bit of shopping. I put him down. I tried to put him down where he couldn't see him as well, just by the side of the sofa like that.
There was 2 kebabs in there for later on. It was even like hotel food.
Yeah.
But I had to buy the
C&A or something like that. You might have got away with it. So.
Exactly. So he's given me a skinful, which rightly so I deserved, and you know, I took it on the chin and just walked off. And I remember walking off thinking, I'm not going to play tomorrow. Yeah. Just something in my head just made me think I'm not going to play, because I wasn't sure whether I was going to play or not anyway, guaranteed.
Nobody was.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, because
3 out of us 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I'd missed the game that Gerry had played in and done well.
Right.
So deserved to be in the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm coming back from injury. Is he going to throw me back into a team that's just won, or is he going to stick with the same team? So I didn't know how it was going to go. But obviously, I'm favouring myself because we've got 2 left footers in the back 3, and you're not going to play on the right side of a 3. You're going to be in the middle. So
it was very slow.
So you was always going to play the centre. So Gerry played on the right the game before.
Yeah.
And Walshy on the left.
That's right.
And he done a job for the team and was brilliant. So I'm thinking to myself, is he going to throw me back in, or is he going to stick with that? Whichever decision he makes, right or wrongly, is whatever he's going to make. So, but I've obviously blown it there, because if he was thinking about it, I've made that decision for him. So I went up to my room, and I remember you came up to my room and said, what's gone on? And I've missed the meeting, obviously. And he said, where had you been?
Me, because I was captain at the time, despite Walshy was club captain.
Yeah.
I was like team captain.
Yeah.
And he said to me, I've got a problem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With himself.
Yeah, exactly. So I went up to the room, and you come to my room. All the lads come piling into my room and that. Frank, where you been? So I've told the story, and I remember you said to me, you'll be all right, you'll play tomorrow. I'll never forget that. And it made me feel a bit better, but then at the same time, I weren't convinced we are. Do you know what I mean?
Fair, yeah, no, you're correct in my memory. He said that to me in the morning.
Yeah.
When we went for a walk. He said, I can't play.
Yeah, so we went for the walk in the morning. We've come back into the hotel reception. As soon as we've walked through the reception, the gaffer's gone, Frank, need to have a word with you.
Yeah.
And my heart dropped, my heart sank straight away.
It's a big decision for him to make as well.
Yeah, he was playing on his mind,
He must have thought long and hard about it.
Yeah, exactly.
He said to me, like, he wasn't consulting me, he was telling me. He was telling me to tell, explain these reasons, and I'd tell the rest of the lads.
Yeah, tell the lads.
And he would tell you.
Yeah, so he came over and he just said to me, you know, obviously, you're not involved. And the killer thing about it was, he didn't give me the opportunity to go to the game either. So it was just, you're not involved, get your stuff and go home. And that's how he said it. So I couldn't even travel with the lads and be there at Wembley. So for me, that was devastating. Probably the worst thing that happened to me in football.
Yeah.
When you think about someone making
the game didn't go to plan.
And the game didn't go to plan. So in my head, my career's finished at Leicester. You know, I spoke to my agent, I jumped in a taxi, I drove home, and then I realised, as I'm in the taxi going home, everyone in my family is at Wembley. Do you know what I mean? So no one's at home, and I've got no keys to get in, and I've just got a Leicester tracksuit on. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So I rang a mate of mine who owned a pub in Kingston, and I said to him, how busy is your pub? And he says, no, it's quiet. I goes, have you got the football on? And he's gone, yeah. I goes, all right, I'll be with you in a bit. So I took the taxi to my mate's pub, and I've walked in this pub, and there's about 15 people in there. I knew a few of them, and they're looking at the big screen. And as I've arrived at the thing, you boys are walking on the pitch to have a look at the pitch, and I've walked in, and I've got my Leicester tracksuit on, and everyone's taken a second look.
They're meant to be there.
They're looking at the screen, and they're looking at me and going, what are you doing here? Like that. And I just went, get me a pint. It's a long story, basically. Yeah. Like that. And I stood in the pub with my mates and watched it on the big screen. But what I didn't do, I told my best mate, there was a lad called Udo who was an ex-player. I played with at Fulham, Udo on Ware and that. Yeah, I rang him because he was with my family at the game. So I rang him and I said, listen,
how am I doing?
All I said to him was, I told him what happened, And I said, do me a favour, don't tell my family too early. Tell them with about half hour because I don't want to spoil their day. With half hour, they'll know I'm not there.
Yeah,
You know
there,
what I mean?
and they wonder why.
What I didn't want to do is when I told him 2-3 hours before the game, I didn't want to spoil their day of them actually going to the game and that. So I stood in my mate's pub and watched the game, and obviously we got beat.
Spectacle that wasn't.
Yeah, well, you know, and I was gutted. We lost the game, and but at the same time, I'm pondering with my future because it was that damaging to me missing it. I thought I probably played my last game for Leicester. I spoke to Martin O'Neill the following week. I think I didn't come in until the Wednesday, and I spoke to him. I came in with my agent, and I thought it was going to be a conversation about me leaving the club.
Yeah.
And very quickly, it became a conversation about him challenging me to stay and prove, you know, what value I was to the football club afterwards. So I thought long and deep about it. And then when I thought about the bigger picture, I was enjoying my football. I was enjoying the football club generally. So we'd got to a cup final again, which was unbelievable for my first season. So, you know, the challenge for me was to try and do it again.
Did that make it even sweeter than the next season?
100%. And Martin O'Neill said to me, he'd never admit this, right? He said, if you ever repeat what I've said, which I have done in the past, I'll never admit it to you. But we obviously went back and won the same competition the next year against Tranmere. And then we went and met the mayor, didn't we? Remember when we went to meet the mayor?
Yeah.
And somehow, by fluke, we was in that room and I sat down and Martin O'Neill was sat next to me and he was buzzing that we'd won the game. And I'm buzzing that we won the game, do you know what I mean? It's another medal, another opportunity and all that. And he said to me, he nudged me and he went, you know what? I might have made a mistake last year, but well done. And that's all he said.
Did he?
Like that. And that was his way of breaking the ice or with whatever it was.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. And that was it. And I think it was the fact that, you know, obviously in the Tranmere game, I think I started at left back, didn't I?
Yeah.
I played left back.
Yes, yeah.
Back four. So I'm doing a job for the team again, which, you know, I didn't mind doing when he put it to me, you know, I might have to play your left back. I said, I've played left back loads of times. Not a problem. I'll do the job. Not a problem. So I think that the difference of, you know, what I represented in the second cup final compared to what I represented in the first one was chalk and cheese. Absolutely. And that was my fault.